like in the beginning of the hackathon, like I was like the crazy girl, like walking around talking about my ideas. And a lot of people were doubting it, and they're like, okay, we'll think about it, yeah, and this and that. And then I was like, this is a good idea. I have to move forward with it. So I just kept talking to people like crazy, and then I built my team, and then I won 2 prizes from it. That, yeah.
Amazing. Congratulations. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Ledger Nation interview. Today with Kaiti Wu. Welcome, Kaiti.
Hello.
So, Kaiti, you're a PhD candidate at Leibniz Institute, and you're also a founder and a business consultant. You work in the Web3 space, which is super exciting. And today we're going to talk about, science and blockchain and all projects that you're currently doing. So please tell me, how did you get into the blockchain space?
So I started learning about what's going on in blockchain actually a bit later in 2017. Started with some investment with some friends, but didn't really have time to dig into the technicalities of it. However, I was working in the university at that time, and we kind of did some research in how blockchain can be applied in smart sustainable city applications. Sustainability is a huge part in my career. So, right, having discovered blockchain technology and having did some like fundamental research in that terms, well, it has been a really good experience to kind of build up my knowledge in blockchain.
Tell me, what are you currently working on?
I'm working on several projects. So one is community-based, locally. It's called Web Lab Berlin. Web Lab is a brand, is a global brand. We are based in Amsterdam, Berlin, Portugal, also Madrid. We are working on very localized, empowering people locally to participate in blockchain activities and discussions, and doing startup days, like encouraging people to come up with their own ideas with their own different backgrounds, supporting them to find VCs and get consultancy services, like in a friendly vibe. And this is a not-for-profit organization that we're running in Berlin. And on the other hand, I'm also doing scientific kind of citizen science project. It's called CitizenSci. The funny thing is that this project originated from my PhD project because I experienced so much pain about collecting data when it comes to my PhD project. And I think it's a similar pain to many other researchers. It's all about the data, right? And so I started this project to make it easier for people to participate in science, to create more incentives for people to participate in science, and more recognition, provide more recognition for them. So they kind of have a good motivation or a good environment to join any kind of environmental science that they would like to do.
Kaiti, tell me about CitizenSci. What problem are you solving there?
I'm trying to solve a problem that people don't feel, although the motivation, according to research, most people are motivated to do citizen science is because they want to help science. However,
Just to explain, what is citizen science?
oh, right. So citizen science is that scientists outsourcing part of the data collection to citizens, like normal people who doesn't have like, they don't might not like any like some easy tasks where you can send a PhD student out to do it, or you can send it to a citizen scientist. Both of are very require very detailed and accurate data, but some tasks it's just possible to outsource it.
For
Uh,
example, what tasks can we outsource?
and in terms of environmental science, there when we want to study how land cover is changing, we can send people out to just take pictures of the land cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then
I just
they're
go
like,
out, take pictures with my phone, and I did my science project. Yes.
Yes, yes, you go, like the scientists would say, okay, you have to go to this coordinate and take this picture from this angle and that angle. And yeah, you send it back to the scientists. Then they know how the land cover is changing. Yes, then yeah, so that's how these citizen science projects are done. They're also like bird watching tasks. So you go somewhere and you sit there for a while, and then if you see a specific species, you take a picture of it and then you upload it. Okay, the species is still there. They look happy. Yeah, that's how we can help in science.
Very good. Okay, so this is in science. Okay. Mhm.
So the problem that it solves is that a rewarding system. Now that a lot of citizen science projects do reward people. However, the payment system is very difficult to organize. So a lot of research groups are trying to reward people by paying back them with PayPal. But that is just so difficult to organize and difficult to trace with, because you have to calculate how many data people have contributed, and then you have to send it to their account, and just imagine the people who really participated and how you're going to pay them back.
That's
It's just very, very difficult to organize this kind of stuff. And so it's almost impossible to do it in a short time, especially. But it's also the nature of these scientific research projects that even people are expecting to get paid back, they don't really do they don't get it in a short time, but at least they would kind of get an organized time frame. But now it's still difficult to do that. And that's why I thought that we can use the blockchain technology so that we can trace who uploaded how many data, and we can send them back with cryptocurrencies. And what's even better, with my project, we created a badge system where people can trace back with the data that they contributed, the scientific paper that published afterwards. So this badge system that they've been collecting for during their time that they participated in citizen science, they can trace back after 2 3 years, and they say, oh, okay, so this paper is published and they use my data, and this will stay there forever. Right?
Yeah, this is amazing and motivating because okay, I'm actually in a science paper. Yeah,
Yes.
really great.
I think what is worth mentioning is that currently we have a lot of research using taxpayer money,
Mhm.
and the research results sometimes are being privatized. And these which is not a very fair phenomena to watch, because we pay for these research, and these research are
Yeah.
hiding behind paywalls. So I think um one ideal scenario that we're working towards is also that we want to provide a safe space for people to contribute to data. If people contribute into our platform, it is for sure that these data would be licensed, and they will not be under, after the research results, they will not be under paywalls. But
Mhm.
this is also something that we have to work on actively, communicate with research projects, and have those research project to work with the standards.
Okay.
However, most projects these days, especially funded by public money, it is important to have an open license. This is required, actually. So we're just trying to convince the scientific projects to do what is already required to do. Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Kaiti, how did you come up with this idea?
Thank you for this question. I love this question because I still remember I actually took part. So I was encouraged by Yip from DLT Talent. Um, she encouraged us to participate in hackathons. She thinks that it's fastest to learn in hackathons. So I went to the NFT Berlin hackathon earlier this year, not knowing what kind of projects I'm going to work on. And so it just came like this. It just came, and I didn't know who to convince to join my project. But I thought, okay, I'm an environmental scientist. I want to do something related to environment and science. So I, yeah, that's how I started. Then I went to talk to people like, okay, I'm thinking about a system where we're encouraging people to go back to nature and do science. And that's how it came up. I convinced two other girls to join my idea.
But that's great, you know, you were like under pressure. I need to do something now. Let's come up with an idea. Let's form a team. Let's work on it. That's amazing.
Yes, yes, it's crazy because
And you told me you won the hackathon, right?
yes, yes, that's the great part because I was like in the beginning of the hackathon, like I was like the crazy girl like walking around talking about my ideas. And a lot of people were doubting it and they're like, okay, we'll think about it. Yeah, and this and that. And then I was like, this is a good idea. I have to move forward with it. So I just kept talking to people like crazy. And then I built my team and then I won two prizes from it. That yeah.
Amazing. Congratulations. This is very inspiring. You know, it started with this idea, but you really believed in it and you could motivate other people to help you, and then you won. This is really great. So, Kaiti, can you tell me how does CitizenSci work?
So the idea is that people can just participate in citizen science projects from their phone. So as you see, um, in order to be incentivized to contribute to science. So you can see on the first screen, you can see that you can participate in citizen science projects, you can see what projects are available, and you can see how you can collect those badges. Um, so for the scientists, it's easy for them to have this platform to have data collected and simplify the data validation process. Otherwise, you know, always when we collect data, we spend a lot of time cleaning the data. But if we can maybe make that process a lot more cleaner from the beginning, that is beneficial for everybody. And also from the system, you can see that having connected a wallet, it would make ways to paying these contributors very much simplified. And from the second screen, you can see that people can just go and select which kind of projects they want to contribute to. And then, so they would go and then they would look at a project. What is this project about? What kind of badges? On the right-hand side, you can see that claimable badges that they can kind of see what kind of badges they can collect. Mostly they would be asked out because it's an environmental project, mainly that I'm working with. They would be going out to nature, taking pictures or watching birds and doing things in nature and supporting and to support in environmental projects. And then these data that they contributed is going to go up to the IPFS storage. And then we would have like different analytical tools to help validate the data for the scientists. And then for in the user part, they would have like a badge collection system. And these systems, all these badges that they collected would enable them to trace the research project and when it would be published. So they would have all the information they need to source back to, okay, I had this badge, I collected this data, and after 2-3 years, I'm curious about what's the result of this research. This badge will collect them to the research publications that has been published. So this is contributing to open science and create a lot more incentive for people to know what kind of contribution they're making. This is how it works.
Kaiti, I love it. I think it's, first of all, like collecting the badges creates it's fun, you know, like you do something good and then you get a badge. And also it could be this gamified experience when you compare with your friends. Imagine like kids, instead of playing their computers, they can compete like who got more badges for a scientific project. You know, that could be actually something that you could work with schools on, you know, like schools can incentivize the kids to do something like this. That would be really amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that I
In
cannot.
the ideal world, like rolling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kaiti, I think it's an amazing project. I wish you a lot of success with it. And thank you so much for this interview today.
Thank you so much for interviewing me.